Hello, hello, hello. I think everything's good. Yes, everything's good. Okay. Hi. I hope you are doing well. I hope you had a good day. I had a very productive day. The last 3 days have been extremely productive. So I'm wondering when my steam is going to run out. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Okay, hello. We are here for day 8. It is June 8th, so day 8 of 21 for 21 days of celebration. And today I am grateful for self care. I don't know if there's like still lines on my forehead from getting a massage, but I just got a massage. I just got home. I'm still feeling worked over and like in that kind of half here, half zen state. So I'm feeling pretty good. So self care is the focus for me to be grateful for today. Today was in the form of getting a massage, and self care has actually evolved significantly for me over the years from not really paying attention to a concept like self care to really, really getting to the point where I prioritize it and make it a regular occurrence in my life as much as I can. Um, Self care actually doesn't look the same either. It doesn't look the same for me. It doesn't look the same for um, any of us in any given day, in any given moment. We fluctuate in, by the season and by what we're going through. And that's something that I had to learn because I think like many people had this idea of self-care as, taking baths and, having bath bombs and salts and incense and, oils and maybe getting a massage. Um, Self-care is many of those things, but it can also be cooking yourself a nice meal. It could be going for a walk outside. It can be cleaning. It can be turning on your favorite rap or rock music that's really, really aggressive because that's what you need in the moment. It could be having that piece of cake or having the cookie because that's just what feels good. Not because you're emotionally eating, not because you're trying to get comfort from the food and avoid dealing with something, but because, it feels good. Self care can look so many different ways. And one, I wish I knew about self care like the way that I do now. I wish I knew about that years ago, the way that I do now. And I wish I was willing to implement it in my life the way I do now. Um, I've always loved, kind of massages and being outside and um, things like that. But I've never been a bath person. So I thought, oh well, I don't do self care because I don't do those things that most people say self care is. Um, I like to work out. I like to sit and watch the movie. I like to sleep. Sometimes that's self care. And I wish I learned that self care can be different. I wish I learned that self care is as important as it is for health reasons, mental health, physical health, emotional, spiritual, all the health, psychological health. It's so important. And I think we see now in such a stress filled, anxiety filled society that we need all the things that we can get to be able to have some sort of balance, have some sort of peace and calm and space for play, space for creativity in our days. And that's where self-care can come in. I used to be the person that said, you know, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like those words came out of my mouth, particularly in college, because I didn't want to miss out on anything, or, I had to pull an all nighter for something, or, any number of reasons why you'd stay up all night in college. And I didn't realize the toll that took on, all the layers of me. There are hundreds and thousands of studies on sleep deprivation that, tell you the harm that we do to ourselves when we don't sleep and then expect to function a certain way or up to a certain, performance level the next day or the next day or the next day. So that going from that mindset and that kind of way of operating really, really, like I said, took a toll on all aspects of my life. And also, perpetuated a lifestyle that didn't support my body or what my body needed. And ultimately, body paid the price. So I really wish more of us would think about self-care in a different way and not think about it as something that other people do or I don't do that. Because we all do it, I believe, in some fashion, some form. We just might not realize it because it doesn't look the way we've seen on TV or we've seen, in the media that we consume. It doesn't always have to be, you know, essential oils and bath salts and massages and baths. Although those things are cool, if that's what floats your boat. Um, Regardless of how it looks, I think it's recognizing that we all need it, that we all deserve to have it, that we all require it in our lives, that it benefits us and it benefits the people that are around us. And it doesn't have to look a certain way, but prioritizing it can change your life. Because when we prioritize feeling good, when we prioritize quieting our mind or taking the time to just relax or cook the meal or, get the massage or, oh, I forgot floating. I don't know if there's any floaters out there. And by floating, I mean like floating in a saltwater tank. That's actually one of my favorite self care things that I do, which I started maybe 2 years ago. But floating in the float tank is the absolute best experience. So my top self care is floating, massage, dance. I dance for self care. Sometimes sleep, sometimes cooking food, sometimes watching a cool movie. It fluctuates. Sometimes cleaning. I actually spent the month of May decluttering. And I think I mentioned that the other day. And that was a form of self care because I felt myself feeling stuck, but also like chaotic at the same time. Like it was a really interesting place, like a very in between space. And self care for me looked like creating space for myself so I can think clearly and then make decisions and get the clarity that I was talking about also the other day. See how it all kind of fits together? Yeah. So I prioritize the self care because, and I prioritize the self care and I honor how it looks on a day to day basis. Because I know ultimately when I create the environment, whether it's the physical environment, physical body environment or physical space environment, when I create the supportive environment to operate within, more can get done or rest can happen. That's more getting done. Things that are supposed to get done, and there's more flow that's allowed. So I feel better in the end because I know I'm honoring what my body needs, what my systems need, what my environment is asking of me, and then we do those things. So, like I said, self care has just it's become so important. It's a priority in my health regimen, and 5 years ago I wouldn't have said that. But learning what I've learned about the body, learning about how things impact us, how our environments impact us, how our bodies respond to the things that we consume, whether it's food or, you know, something that we smell or media that we consume or, the people around us. Knowing that we're so heavily influenced by literally everything, whether we want to believe that or not, it is of utmost importance to me to control the things that I control, and one of those things is my self care, and prioritizing what I do with and for my body to make sure that it can operate as optimally as possible. And getting to this space is definitely like growth, growth, growth. So back to, I don't know what day that was, but getting to the point where I can prioritize that and make hard decisions and set boundaries, another form of self care, to create the space and environment that I need to support my, highest and best good. So I ask you today, what does self care look like? Do you know what self care looks like for you? Do you honor your needs for self care? Or is that on the back burner because there's other obligations that you are completing, yours or someone else's? I'm grateful for self care because self care helps me preserve my energy, it helps me preserve my health, it helps me improve my health, it helps me be a nicer, kinder, more friendlier person to people around me. It makes me easier to put up with on a day-to-day basis. So honoring that is is good for me and for others. And I'm sure the same is in your life as well. So today I'm grateful for self-care. I'm grateful for an amazing massage because I love massages, but it was actually really, really good. I didn't fall asleep and I didn't snore, so which is good. But I'm grateful for self-care. I'm grateful for options to indulge in self-care. And I'm grateful that I know there are options and that I can do self-care my way. It doesn't have to look a certain way. So, what's your relationship with self-care, and what have you done lately to tend to your needs in that department? Let me know if you can also be grateful for self-care in your self-care practice.